How hard is it to be a startup entrepreneur in Europe compared to the USA? There are perks to both. I have started companies in the UK before, and I have spoken to hundreds of people who started a business in the USA. Just to be clear, Europe is quite a stretchy definition. Of course, starting a business in Ukraine will be different to starting it in Germany, so I am going to assume that you mean Central, Western Europe. It's not that much harder to start a business in Europe, but there are certain obstacles and opportunities. 1. Europe is a smaller market, meaning it can be harder to grow into a unicorn compared to the USA. 2. But because of the above, it might be easier for you to bring an idea to the market. 3. If you live in Europe, you have access to unique goods that you could potentially export to the US. Of course, now you can do that from almost any country in the world to any country across the globe, however it helps being in the same location as your suppliers. 4. Finding investment is a lot easier in the US. Especially in the Silicon Valley, where all tech startups look to go to at one point or another. However, venture capital scene is quite proficient in Western Europe too, especially in cities such as London, Berlin and Amsterdam. 5. As for contacting fellow founders, this scene as well as the investment community are a lot better developed in the USA than in Europe. Most podcasts on startups, publications and hubs in Europe are based on their bigger cousins in the US. 6. Firing someone is a lot harder in Europe, especially in countries such as France. 7. Cost per customer acquisition can be a lot lower in Europe, because it still has a significant number of underdeveloped markets. The Samwer brothers began to copy American businesses and implement their ideas in Europe, later selling these companies to the originals, making billions, because they saw an opportunity in this gap. 8. Time difference can play a part. If you have a lot of international customers, depending on where they are based, speaking with them might be more convenient from Europe, from the US. 9. It seems much harder and expensive than in the USA. 10. Moreover, a startup in the usual sense implies the creation of a corporation, but in most European countries, even if foreigners are allowed to open companies, then only one type of company is possible, an LLC, limited. Closing parenthesis. I can't answer about Europe, but I want to say that being a startup entrepreneur is hard everywhere. There are no streets somehow paved with gold in the US, Silicon Valley, or anywhere else.